Problem 1-43, prepare income statement, statement of owner's equity, and balance sheet. And in this video, we are just focusing on the first part here, the preparing of the income statement. So here we have, presented here are the accounts of West Company for the year ended December 31st, 2025. So over here we have our data table to view the accounts. They are listed in random order here. And we can also read the requirements here, however, they are above each portion of this problem, so we don't need to have this read requirements open. So we'll be preparing the income statement first, statement of owner's equity, and then balance sheet after. So do you remember the three formulas for the three financial statements that we're talking about here? So in case you forgot, here they are. So we do the income statement first, which is revenues minus expenses equals net income. And then we'll do the statement of owner's equity and then the balance sheet. But first we have to do the income statement. And as always, we have the 3-line heading as the beginning of each of these statements. So the first line is the name of the company. So we have West Company. Given to us here, West Company's income statement. And then we have our second line, which is the name of the statement we're creating, which is the income statement. So we'll go ahead and drop down and get that here. And then our third line is date related. So they want us, according to this, they want us to create this for the year ended December 31st, 2025. So we'll input here, year ended December 31st, 2025. And then for this next portion, we need to remember what the formula is for the income statement. And that formula is revenues minus expenses. So right here, you'll notice these two are extended out here. These are our labels on the table here. So we're going to go ahead and put in revenues here and then expenses right here. So now our job in here with this data table is to find the revenue. And your revenues are going to have the word revenue in them. So let's look over here to find our revenue account. So we have service revenue right here for 192,000. So we can go ahead and double click and Control C to copy paste, or you can just type this in. This just saves a little bit of time here and error if we copy and paste it. So let's scroll down here and find our service revenue. There it is. And then next up we have our expenses. Now expenses are usually listed from largest to smallest. However, my accounting lab is nice and does not force you to put them in any certain order. So what we're going to want to do over here is look for anything with the word expense or relating to expense here. So we have property tax expenses, that first one I see for 2,600. So we can go ahead and input that here, property tax expense. Copy this over. I'll see what's next. So withdrawals, no, that is not an expense, it's part of equity. We have rent expense next. So we can go ahead and copy paste that 13,000. Make sure we put in rent expense as the label. These are alphabetical, so there that one is. And then we have salaries expense next for 65,000. So we can go ahead and find salaries expense for 65,000. Now I don't see any more expenses here. Just see salaries payable, supplies, that's an asset, capital as part of equity. And then let's see, so our next expenses here is advertising expense. That's 15,000. So we're going to go ahead and copy paste that over. Advertising expenses are label. And then let's see, do we have any other expenses? Yes, we have insurance expense and interest expense. So let's go ahead and put insurance expense, interest expense, so 2,500 here for the insurance expense. And then down to the bottom here, we're going to be totaling these up. We'll get to that point here in just a second. And now we're going to add up all of these expenses here. So you'll notice this one is indented at the bottom. This is the total expenses right here. So we can go ahead and add these through, and that's going to give us a total of $105,100. And then we scroll down just a notch. We have net income already input here as the label. So what is that formula again for the net income? It is revenues. So this 192,000 less total expenses. So that 105,100. So you can pop open your calculator here to do the math. So we have 192,000 minus 105,100. That's going to give us net income of 86,900, and we'll enter that in. So go ahead and close out of your calculator and let's check our answer, see how we did. Nice work. Okay, that looks great. So in the next video, we'll do the statement of owner's equity.